Hello student, this lecture is for class 9th. This is the first chapter, that is cell, the basic unit of life or the fundamental unit of life. This is the last part of first chapter. Before starting, I told you one thing, that you have to just see whatever in the previous slide, that is first and second part. This is the preceding part of all the slided. One thing that I told you, all the cell organelles are completed in the previous slide, that is part number 2 slides. Here we discuss about some important topics which was definitely come in this examination, it means in 9th class, and some are come in the higher level examination, especially in the NEET examination and all the competition based examination. So here it begins. The topics that we are going to cover, number 1 is solution. You already know what is solution in chemistry, okay, but here it is related to the biology. So next one is diffusion word, that there are so many times that I will use that diffusion. So what is the definition of diffusion? Here we will discuss about that. Next one is osmosis also. Transport, here basically we will discuss about the cell transport or cell material transport, how the material which are present inside the cell will be transported from one place to another place. You see that the message or anything which was given by the nucleus, it will be transported with the help of endoplasmic reticulum to another cell organelles. So how it was transport, so here we will discuss, and some question related to all these topics. So now the first topic, that is solution. First thing, whatever you know about the solution in chemistry, the same thing is that, okay, solute combined with solvent is called solution. Okay, if you want to write this one, this is also correct definition of the solution. Or the mixture of two substances and forming a one substance is called solution. This is the another definition. But when we mix two substances, in that two substance, one is called solute and one is called solvent. So we will write that solute combined with solvent, it gives solution. Okay, so here solute plus solvent is called solution. It means mixing of any substance in the solvent or mixing of any two substance is called as what? Solution. So there are so many solutions that you already seen, that is basically you see, first we will discuss about the water. In class 6 you know that water is called universal solvent. Water is called universal solvent because in the water all the states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas, are easily mixed. Like suppose that water is a solvent, universal solvent, and solute, suppose that one sugar that we will take or salt that we will take, when it mix it in the water, then it will be easily mixed, it form a solution. Okay, so in water solid is also mixed. Liquid, when milk is mixed with water, then it form a solution. So milk is a liquid. Okay, so in the water milk will also mixed. Next one is gases. There are so many gases which are already present in the water, so it form a solution. So here are some examples. Suppose that sugar mixed with water is also a form of solution. Milk is also combined with water to form a solution, and gases which are already present in that water component, and so many gases are mixed with water to form a solution. So if we see here, okay, see here, sugar is a solid component, milk is a liquid one, and gas is already a gas. So three matter, it means solid, liquid and gas, are mixed with water to form a solution. So in this way we told that water is called universal solvent, because all the matter that is solid, liquid and gas are easily mixed in the water. Okay, now next one, type of solution. Type of solution, one thing has always in your mind, that solution that is solute plus solvent is called solution. Suppose that sometime the solute level will be up, it means higher, and solvent level will be down, it means lower. Sometimes solute level will be lower and solvent level will be higher, and sometimes both are equal. So in this way the solution are basically three types. Okay, basically solution are of three types. Number one is hypertonic solution. First, you be remind the name. Here it was given hyper, here it was given hypertonic solution. Okay, if we see that here it was given hypertonic solution. Okay, if hypertonic solution is there, so one thing always in your mind, that is here it is written hyper. Okay, hyper solution. Hyper means what? Hyper means maximum. It means what? Maximum. We all know that solute plus solvent is called solution, that is one thing. And water is called universal solvent. So this name is totally depend on the solute, not the solvent. Okay, okay. So hyper means higher. What higher? Solute is higher. If the level of solute, the solution in which the level of solute will be higher and level of solvent will be lower, is called hypertonic solution. Here you see solute, okay, solute in higher concentration and solvent in lower concentration is called hypertonic solution. Everything is based on solute, each and every name. Hyper means what? Hyper means high, that is solute is higher, so that's why solvent is lower, so it was called as hypertonic solution. Okay, suppose that one example that I will given you. First you see, suppose that we take 4 or 5 resin, okay, 4 or 5 resin or any cell, okay, it will kept into one bowl of water or 1 liter of water. If will kept in 1 liter of water, so in that cases, okay, water is called solvent, okay, and solute is, that one is resin. Okay, so that condition is called as hypertonic solution. Suppose that next, hypotonic solution. Here hypo means lower. What lower? That is solute is lower, because every name, I told you, every name is depend on the solute. If the level of solute will be higher, that is called hyper. If the level of solute will be lower, hypo means lower, is called as what? Hypotonic solution. And solvent concentration is higher, so here it is solute in lower concentration and solvent in higher concentration, that is called as hypotonic solution. One example, suppose that, again I told you one thing, suppose we will take 5 resin, and 1 liter of water, a glass of water, okay. So what we will do on that, in that cases, the solute, that is resin, and solvent, that is water. So in that cases, the level of solvent, it means water, is higher, and solute, that is resin, is lower. So that is called as hypotonic solution. Or one more definition you see, one more example. Suppose we will take 1 liter glass of water. Okay, in that we will add half spoon of sugar. Then in that cases, the sugar, that is solute, and water, that is solvent, it means the level of water in, so when we mix it, then it form a solution. So in that solution, the level of water, it means solvent, is higher, and the level of solute, that is sugar, is lower. So the solution which we created, that is called as what? The hypotonic solution. Okay, okay, clear this one? Now if iso means equal, iso means what? Equal. So solute, the level of solute, yani the concentration of solute and solvent, both are equal. The solute and solvent in equal concentration. Okay, one example through all that I will given you. Suppose that one question that I will give you, there are two cases. So question is that one, suppose that 5 resin firstly it was kept into the hypotonic solution, resin. Okay, first 5 resin was kept into the hypotonic solution for 24 hours. Okay, after that it was kept into the hypertonic solution again 24 hours. Then what will be the changes in that two? Okay, so this one is the question. You can easily solve from this one. Okay, so type of solution is very easy. All the name, whatever the name is here, hyper means higher, what higher? The solute is higher. Hypo means lower, what lower? That is solute is lower. Okay, so this one is there. Now next one is diffusion. One thing that I already told you in so many cases, that in case of amoeba also I told you that diffusion is that. There's so many times that this word will come, diffusion. So what is the definition of diffusion? Definition of diffusion is very simple. Movement of any substance from higher concentration to lower concentration. It means any substance move from higher concentration to lower concentration is called diffusion. Simple one. Okay. Movement of any particle or any substance from higher concentration to lower concentration is called diffusion. Diffusion in your surrounding also. Suppose that if somewhere the temperature is too higher, okay, and in next area there the temperature is lower. So from where the temperature is higher, the higher temperature is moved to the lower temperature. So the particle move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Okay, this way the diagram is that, very simple diagram. Here the high concentration molecule is that, okay, and here it is low concentration. One more example that I will give you. If you open a bottle of perfume, then in that area the concentration is automatically higher, and it will be spread into those area which have low concentration. So that is also example of diffusion. One more example, Elisha. Okay, that is agarbatti. If we burn it, then the temperature then the fragment which are present there, okay, it will be spread on those area which have low concentration. So there are so many examples are in that. One more example, listen. Suppose we will take a bowl of water, inside that, okay, one salt cube will be just dipped in that. After that, that salt cube, it is spread into the whole one, that is lower part. So that it will be moved from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Simply it is called as what? Diffusion. Next one, that is most important, that is osmosis. Basically it was related to the diffusion, okay, but simple is that just I told you already in the previous one, that is second part, that cell always enter those substance which cells required, okay. It means there is the SPM, that is semi permeable membrane or selective permeable membrane, okay. Suppose that if a cell is there and outside the concentration is higher, and inside the cell the concentration is lower. So you all know that movement of any substance from higher concentration to the lower concentration is called diffusion. But around the cell there is a cover that is called as SPM or semi permeable membrane or selective permeable membrane, which select the particle which cells want, and that allow only that particle which enter inside the cell, okay. That process is called as osmosis. That is called as what? Osmosis. It means movement of any particle from higher concentration to the lower concentration is called diffusion, okay. But here we told that movement of any particle from higher concentration to the lower concentration through SPM, that is semi permeable membrane or selective permeable membrane, is called osmosis, okay. This one, okay. If we write one more definition, so we think about this. What is the definition of the diffusion? That is movement of any particle from higher concentration to the lower concentration is called as what? Diffusion. Simple. But if we want to add through SPM, then it is called as what? Osmosis. So one more definition is that diffusion through SPM is called osmosis. That is a simple one, okay. Movement of any particle from higher concentration to the lower concentration through SPM, that is semi or selective permeable membrane, is called osmosis. This one is the diagram, and this one, suppose that here is the water molecules, here is a higher concentration, okay, and that is the SPM. This one is the SPM. So movement is there, that is called as what? Osmosis, okay. Suppose that this is the large sugar molecule. Suppose that this one is the large sugar molecule. After splitting, it will be moved into the lower concentration, so easily it can be what it was moving. So this is called as what? Osmosis. You can easily learn from that, and so many questions will become, okay. Later we will discuss about that questions. Suppose that why our fingertip get shrink when it was dipped into the water, okay. There are so many questions, later we will discuss about that. Next one is type of osmosis. Type of osmosis, it means first thing that I told you, what is cytosis? Cytosis means cells, okay. It means cells. Study of cell is called cytology, okay. Two osmosis that we will learn here, that is first one is end osmosis and exosmosis, okay. Just think about the solution also, because I am going to correlate with the solution. Now first is, that is end osmosis. The name is, if you want to learn, you have to learn from this word, endo. Endo means inside. Just learn it. This is the trick that you have to learn. Endo means inside. It means the concentration, suppose that if we dipped one RBC, one cell, in a 1 liter glass of water, okay, so outside the concentration will be higher, and inside the level of concentration will be lower. So water will be moved from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So indo means inside, so all the material are coming inside the cell, that is called as what? Endosmosis. Okay, why it is called osmosis? Because suppose that when we kept one resin in a bowl of water, 1 liter glass of water, okay, so above the resin there is a membrane, that is semi-permeable membrane. Through that membrane, the component which are present in the water, it will be enter inside the resin. Resin is a cell, okay. So here is that what? Higher concentration to the lower concentration through the SPM, that is layer, okay. So this is called as what? Endosmosis. When water diffuse into the cell due to the higher concentration outside the cell, it is called as what? Endosmosis. Okay, I told you about the material, here is the water concentration. Okay, so if we just twist the question, if we are going to tell that which type of solution have endosmosis will be happen, which type of solution, so simply it was called as what? Hyper. That there are three types of solution, that is hyper, hypo and isotonic solution. In isotonic solution, no matter there. Endosmosis, it means outside the concentration is higher, it means water concentration is higher. Okay, so water concentration is higher, it means solute concentration is lower. Solute is lower, it means hypotonic solution. Okay, so endosmosis take place in hypotonic solution. Okay, clear? In hypotonic solution, if endosmosis take place in hypotonic solution, then the cell becomes swell. Because water will be moved from outside to the inside the cell. This one example. Suppose then you have already seen at your home that if you kept 2 to 3 resin in a 1 glass of water and left it for 24 hour or 12 hour, after 12 hour you seen that the resin becomes swell. So what you think, that the level of water which was present in the glass is higher, and inside that resin the concentration level of water is lower. So water move from higher concentration to the lower concentration, it means inside the cell, and cell become swell. So water concentration is higher and the components which are present in the water is lower, so the solution is what? Hypotonic solution. So in endosmosis the solution is hypotonic solution and the cell becomes swell. This thing you have to learn. Okay, example, cell kept in hypotonic solution, that is I already told you. Next one is exosmosis. X, here name is X. X means just removal of water. Suppose that in amoeba, in class 7th you know about that, in contractile vacuole, with the help of contractile vacuole, it removes the waste water from the body. That is called as exosmosis. That process is called as exosmosis. Simply that is called a diffusion, but here it will told that exosmosis. Okay, second thing is that one example is, suppose that you kept 6 or 7 resin in 1 liter glass of water and left it for 24 hours. After 24 hours you see that all the 5 or 6 resin are become swell. Take all that swell resin and place it into the one bowl of water. In that bowl, the water level should be very lower, okay, and left it for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you saw that kismis become shrink. It means what? That inside the resin, the level of water will be higher, and in your bowl the level of water will be lower. So water will move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. So here in bowl, water concentration is lower, so the solvent concentration is higher. So the solution will be called hypertonic solution, and the cell become shrink. So in exosmosis, it will take place in hypertonic solution and the cell becomes shrink. Okay, this one is okay. One thing that I told you, listen it very carefully. One word that always come in the example, that is what is plasmolysis. What is plasmolysis? Plasmolysis, first thing in your mind, that plasmolysis, it means plasma membrane or cell membrane. It means the first layer which are present around the cell, that is called as what? Cell membrane or plasma membrane. So what is there? Plasmolysis. Plasmo means plasma membrane and lysis means breakdown. Okay, simple thing. It means breakdown of plasma membrane is called plasmolysis. So the question is arise that at what condition it was happen? Simple one. If you kept any cell in the hypertonic solution, if you kept any healthy cell in hypertonic solution, then exosmosis will take place. So all the material which are present inside the cell are easily removed from the cell and come outside. Through that, the layer, it will create pressure on the layer and the layer will become ruptured. That is called as what? Plasmolysis. Okay. So one more question is that, so what is the difference between plant and animal cell on the basis of plasmolysis? We all know that in plant cell there is the cell wall, but in animal cell there is only a plasma membrane. So if plasmolysis take place in animal cell, then the structure of the animal cell are changed. But in plant cell, plasmolysis will take place, then the structure of cell will be not changed because it will be protected by the cell wall. Okay, so these are some important questions which were definitely asked by someone, or definitely it was come in the examination. Okay, next one, transportation in the cells. That I already told you how the material will be transported in the different part of the cells. So first thing that I told you, if we transport anything, commonly if we transport anything, some material, it can be easily transport from one place to another place, okay, which does not require so much energy, but some of them are required energy. Instead, that inside the cell also some material are easily transported and some are not, okay, which was not transported, so it required energy, so energy in the form of ATP. Okay, so here is that there are two type of transportation. Number one is active transportation. In active transportation, energy required, okay, energy will definitely required energy in the form of ATP. okay, because without energy that material will be not transported from one place to another place. Next one is against the concentration. Against the concentration means we all know that, simply know that any particle move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. But suppose that any particle move from higher to lower, okay, clear, higher to lower some particle will be moved. But if we create pressure in the lower concentration, it means if we create in pressure, if we create energy in the lower concentration, okay, so the particle move from lower concentration to the higher concentration, okay, clear. So here is that against the concentration we will move, against the concentration the particle will be move from lower concentration to the higher concentration. Examples are very simple, that is exocytosis and endocytosis, that I already told you. Exo means outside, endo means inside, cytosis means cells. Exocytosis is what? A removal of waste material from the cell is called as what? Exocytosis. Endocytosis what? Taking of any nutrient by the cell is called as what? Endocytosis. So this one. Next one is passive transport. Passive transport is just opposite to the active transport, just opposite, because in active transport energy is required, but here no energy is required, okay. It with the concentration, it can move with the concentration, with higher concentration to the lower concentration. So from these 3 points in your mind, that diffusion and osmosis will come. So diffusion and osmosis is the example of passive transport, because in diffusion and osmosis you already know any particle will be easily move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. This one. Some question for practices, questions, because so many questions here, some questions are that, but just think it and write it. Number 1, why does the skin of your finger sink when you wash clothes for a long time? Okay. Second question, why is endocytosis found in animals only, not in plant? Okay, just think, it is just related to the plasma membrane. Next one, a parent takes concentrated solution of salt, after some time he start vomiting. What is the phenomena responsible for such situation? It is related to the osmosis, but which type of osmosis? Just think. One question will be arise that if a person drink salty water, then he start vomiting, then which type of transport or which type of phenomena will take place in that? If next question, that if you are provided some vegetable to cook, you generally add salt into the vegetable during cooking process. After adding salt, vegetable release water. What mechanism is responsible for this? So this one is a simple one. Suppose you just kept some onion, after some time you added some salt, and there are some lots of water will be releases. So why? What are the mechanism responsible for that? Okay. And the last question is that what mechanism are involved in absorption of digested food and water? We all know that there is the absorption of food and water in our body, okay. Basically that is small intestine help in the absorption and absorption, okay. So these are all about today, okay. Thank you.